Here is how you can submit listings to the FMMA website. First, you're going to want to log into your account and navigate to your My Account page, which is what I'm on right now. Then you'll scroll down to your quick link section and you'll look for these buttons labeled Submit Listing and see that there's 3 different ones for Place, Provider, and Procedure. You'll also see this Bulk Import Listings button and a View Your Listings button, but we'll worry about those later. For now, I'm going to open this Submit Listing Place button. And you'll see a form here. The form is fairly self-explanatory, but I'll go through and fill it out and see so you can see how it works. So first you have your place title. That's just the name of your business, what you would look up if you wanted someone to find it. Place description. I'm putting in placeholder information right now, but this is just anything you would like someone to read for a quick overview about your business. Maybe something that makes your business different, what you offer, all that good stuff. There's also tags below. This helps when people are searching listings. It will help your listing pop up. There's a few suggested already, but you can add some new ones. So for example, maybe I wanted to add a tag that was like physician office or something like that. After I finish adding the tag, I would just put a comma and that creates a tag. I'm going to go ahead and delete this because I don't really need it, but I'll just add a few placeholder ones. Then you'll come down here and you'll select a category. So we have a few already created. You do not have the ability to create new categories. So if you feel like this category they don't accurately reflect your business, let us know and we can maybe look into adding more. For now, I'll just click this one. You can also select multiple categories. So if I wanted to do a physician office and financing, I could do that. But when I do that, I'd need to make sure I select the correct default category. So maybe I want to say this is more important to my business than being a physician office. Whatever you prefer, you just need to pick one that will be your default category. Then you're going to put in your address. So I'm going to go grab my address, 4001. You can put in a second line of address if you have like a suite number, but you also don't have to. The region is your state. The default location is Oklahoma, but you can update this. City is also default set to Oklahoma City, but you can update this, and then your zip code. When you finish filling this out, you can click this button here, Set Address on Map, and it'll update this pin icon to be where your business is. It also automatically updates your address, latitude, and longitude, so you don't have to worry about that. Images, you can, if you wanted to add a few images of your location, anything you wanted to do to show off your image, your location, you can do that here. I would not add your logo here because there's a separate field for that, so just keep that in mind. So I'll just add one image as an example. You could set your business hours. So if I scroll down here and I click yes, I can say what days of the week I'm open. If I'm open on Saturday, I can click this blue icon and change the hours. So maybe I'm only open from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. or whatever that may be. Maybe I'm not open on Monday. I can click the red minus button. If I need to undo that, I can click this button again. If I'm open 24 hours, I can click this check mark and it automatically sets me to being open 24 hours. All this good stuff. It's also important when you do this to make sure you update your time zone to the correct time zone. So it defaults to Chicago, which is the time zone in Oklahoma. But if you lived somewhere else, you would want to make sure that you searched up and found your time zone. So I'm going to leave it as Chicago. Down here, your website. One thing that's important to know is you wouldn't want to just type in the name of your business like that. It needs to be the full address, so it includes like the HTTPS. If you want to make sure you get this and it's formatted right, I would just visit your website and copy the URL to your clipboard. And down here, you could select your logo. So I'll grab this for my logo. I will put in a contact email. And phone is not required, but I will put in an example one. And then I can click Submit Listing if I feel good about it. Or if I want to double check everything, I can click this Preview Listing button. And this will show me what my listing will look like. So you can see the logo, the name, the description, images associated with my listing. I can click on it and get a bigger picture. It shows me the address, the contact information. So I all think this looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click Submit Listing. So now my listing is created, and I can view my listing by clicking this button. And you can see it looks pretty much the same as what the preview was. I can click Edit if I want to change any information. So if I was like, oh, I wanted to add more to my description, whatever, I can do that here. So that's how you submit a place. The other listing forms are similar, but a little different. So I'll show you those next. To submit a procedure or a provider, it'll be pretty much the same. You're going to go to your account page, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click one of these. So I'll click Submit Listing Provider. So I'll pretend that I'm a doctor for a second and I'll fill out some information. These fields are pretty much all the same. So the name of your provider, a description of your provider, maybe any information about what they like doing or their specialties. You can add some more tags here. There are a few tags already created, but you can add some more. So maybe if I was a specialist in neurology, I could do that. I could do a tag for general surgery. Maybe if there's a specific procedure that I was good at, I could just include that as a tag. Whatever you feel like you want to do there. You also select your category. Again, you can't add any new categories. You just have to pick what's already here. If you need to add categories, let us know. I will do general surgery and some other category. Again, I will pick my default category. And then I'm actually going to scroll past this contact information place because I need to show you the thing that's different about this field. So I can go down here and I can click a place to link to my provider. So I'm going to link the one that I just created. And I'm going to click this blue button here. And it'll say, are you sure you want to fill provider listing data from selected linked place data? I'll click OK. And then when I go up here, you can see it's automatically filled in the information I provided to the location listing. So if I had a provider that worked at my office and I just wanted to make sure that the contact information just went to my office, I can do that so I don't have to fill out the information over and over again. If there are things that are different, like for instance, you had like a different email address for this doctor, you could change the email, you can change the phone, you can change whatever, but if you want to connect certain data, you can quickly autofill it this way, which is really handy. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to provide just one image of my provider. This is just a placeholder. If you don't have an image, this is what will be shown for your provider. And then down here, the other thing that is different is that you can provide some information on your provider's medical training. So I can say my specialty, I can say where I went to school, all this good stuff, and I don't have to fill out all of this, so I will just skip it for now. And I will click Preview Listing again to show you what it's going to look like. And if that all looks good to me, I can click Submit Listing. So now I'm going to look at my listing here. And you'll also see it shows the linked locations to my provider. So if someone wanted to go to information about this location, they could do that here. Same deal. I can click Edit here and change information about this provider. But it's very similar to the place form. To do a procedure, it's going to be the same deal. I'm going to click this Submit Listing Procedure button. I will do a sample procedure, sample name. The custom fields that are different is that you're going to want to add the price to your procedure. You're going to do it without the $sign, so no currency symbol, just whatever the price is. You will add the category. So like, let's say it's a dentistry one, you'll select your default category. You'll add some tags if you want to. And then any code. So if, for example, maybe someone was looking for a specific procedure code, they could look it up this way, or if you wanted to just put any internal codes that you use, you could do that as well. And then same deal with the procedure as the providers. You can go down here and you can click places, and I can say, let's autofill this information from my location. And that's all set up. I can also link a provider if you want to specify that this provider offers this procedure. And I can fill the location from the provider as well, but I'll just leave it for the place. I will click preview again. And you can see it gives you the name of the procedure, all this stuff. This is blank for now, but when we hit submit, it will show the linked listings in this place. It just doesn't show up in the preview. And I'm going to click submit listing. And you can see these have been added here. If you want to go ahead and get an overview of all of your listings, you can go back to your account page and click view your listings. And this will show you all of your places, your providers, and procedures. And it does so in the order of newest to oldest. So whatever you last created will be here first. So I just created this one. And it's showing up for me here. However, you probably have multiple procedures that you would like to import. So if you want to do that in bulk, I will also show you how to do that. To bulk import listings, you're going to scroll down here and you'll click this button labeled bulk import listings. When you go to this page, you'll see a description of instructions, a button to download sample files, and then in these toggles, there are specific information on how to format these spreadsheets. So I'll click download sample files, and I will go to my downloads folder, and you'll see the zip file, which I will expand, and in it, there are CSV files for places, procedures, and providers. So I'll go ahead and open up the procedures file. All of these forms are similar to each other, and they pretty much provide the same information as what your form does, just in a CSV format. But there's a few things just to be aware of to make sure that your information imports properly. One, the first thing you should do whenever you come in here is change this post author column. You have to make sure that every one of your listings that you submit has your username here instead. The reason is if you do not, you will not be able to edit the listing after uploading it because it won't be associated with your account. So if you're not sure what your username is here, you can just open up any of these toggles and it'll be the first thing you show here and it'll show you your username. So I will copy that and I will change my post author to this. The rest of it you fill out by following these instructions. And again, it's very similar to what's in the form. So you've got your post title, content, excerpt is not in the form, but if you wanted to look at your listings, it would be what shows up in this view if you wanted to specifically control that. If you don't care, you can also leave it blank and it will just take a certain amount of your content in your post content and show that instead. The other thing to be aware of is that when you are doing these, you cannot create new post tags here, so you have to use what's already available. And it will show you what your options are here. So if I wanted, this is for doctors, and I have a procedures file open right now. So I'll go ahead and open this. And you can see these are my post tags that are currently available. So I can say, you know, arm, whatever, face, whatever works best for this. Similarly, if I go down to the post category, I can't create new categories, but I also need to make sure I don't use the name of the category. I use the category ID. So if I wanted to use foot and ankle, I would grab not foot and ankle, but this number, and I would put it in here. I will also just show you I can do multiple categories by comma separating them, but I need to specify my one default category again. So I'll do that. The other thing to be aware of is you can also link providers and places, just like you can in the forms. They have to be already existing providers and places. And you have to do their ID numbers as opposed to the names of the providers. So if I go in here and I say I want to link a provider, what I would do is I would go to the provider I want to link. I will click edit. And there's this number in the URL. I'll copy that and I will link that provider. Same thing for my locations. I'll scroll up here and I will click edit. And I will grab this number. And I can, do as many of these as I want, comma separated, but I'll just do that for now. So the other thing to know with that is, unfortunately, you can't automatically fill information this way, that like you can from submitting the form. So you would have to update your street address information here. So just be aware of that. So when you're done filling out your form, so let me change the name of this procedure. So I will do just my example procedure. I will export it as a CSV file. I'll click save. When you export it, make sure that it includes the file extension. So it says .csv at the end. Otherwise, you might not be able to upload it. And I'm going to click procedures because that's what I'm importing. It's important to make sure you select the proper import type, or otherwise you may have problems later. They won't import the correct thing and your information will be all out of whack. So I'm going to go to this. This is the file I just exported. And I will submit it. Now I've submitted it, but it may take a while to process, especially if it's a listing that has a lot of procedures in it. That one just had one, so it shouldn't take too long. But if I have like 100, 200 procedures, anything like that, it can take a while for it to process all of that information and import it. So just give it a little bit. We recommend at least 30 minutes before attempting to resubmit. And if you have any problems or if your listings do not import properly, you can contact support by going to our contact page. Another thing to be aware of is just these other ones they have slightly different fields. So for example, setting the business hours in the spreadsheet and the place is a little complicated. So make sure you include the information there. There's instructions on how to link to post images. Same thing with procedures and providers. So just when you're doing this, read through these instructions and make sure you've got everything filled out properly if you have any questions or issues. When you've waited for a little bit, you can go to your account page. And you can scroll down to view your listings. And I'll go down here. And this is the procedure I just created. So you can see it's imported correctly through this spreadsheet. And it's linked to these options since I provided those codes. So it's an easy way to quickly import a bunch of procedures or providers or locations. One thing to be aware of is, unfortunately, this bulk import listings, you cannot edit your procedures this way. You have to do it via the... if you want to edit them, you have to do them individually, or you have to contact support and we can do it for you. So just be aware of that. If you resubmit with the same procedures, it will probably just create duplicate ones, not update them. So be aware of that.